This lesson here on number 35 is going to be placing numbers on a number line. Now, many of you have done number lines in the past, and so this should be fairly familiar, but we're going to take a look today just at making sure we can place them and kind of organize them in sequential order on a number line. So as mentioned, a number line helps to organize values in a sequential order. And when we do these in sequential order, we're usually talking about ascending order, so like from least to greatest. So like bottom would be on the left and then top would be on the right, or smallest to biggest as such. So let's just take a quick little look here at placing these four numbers onto a number line. So we have 2, 4, 8, and 12. Now they're not necessarily exactly the same distance apart, but what we need to do is draw ourselves out a line with a number of different sections. In this case here, we have to make sure that we're below 2 and above 12. I made mine from 0 to 15, okay? With going up by ones, I've labeled it every 5, so I haven't labeled every single one, but we could if we wanted to. Now, I've labeled it from 0 to 15 so that we can kind of see that order. We can fit all four of our numbers on there. Now, when we place them, okay, these in fact are in sequential order already, but when we place them, the 2 is going to go on 2, so I'd like you to draw out, maybe put an arrow, and then put the number there. 4 is this one right here. 8, 5, 6, 7, 8 is right there, and 12 will be up there. Now, you know, some of these are the same distance apart, some are not, but this just kind of shows us where do they line up. And in this order, or with these values, okay, it gives us a demonstration of where things are. We don't need to label every single point. We can just label, every 3 to 6 or 3 to 10 even of them, just to kind of show what our spacing is. And we're knowing that all of our spacings are exactly the same. So in other words, in this case, every one of them is going up by 1. Okay, and there will be some different ones later on as well. Now, if negatives are used, okay, so we're going to be dealing with negatives as well. Okay, the number line needs to go farther to the left, and so we're going to have to include negative numbers as well. So I have this number line right here. You'll notice that 0 is right in the middle, and it's going up to positive 10 and negative 10. Now, this number line here, again, it doesn't have to be labeled, but I'm showing that it's going up, it's going by 2. So this is 2, 4, 6, 8, negative 2, negative 4, negative 6, negative 8. Okay. So in whatever, as we kind of go from there, as the number line does not have a line for every integer, the numbers need to be placed in between, potentially, the given lines. Okay, so they need to be placed in between the given lines, potentially. They could be right on. So the first one, if we look at the first one there, we have the number 6. There is in fact a line for 6, and so we're going to put 6 right there. Now 3, there's no line that has 3 on there, but we know that 3 is right between 2 and 4, and it's directly between, so we're going to put 3 right there. Negative 5 is right between negative 4 and negative 6, and so we're going to put negative 5 in there. And negative 7 is right between negative 8 and negative 6, and we're going to place it right there. Now, I'm not going to be nitpicking on making sure that you go exactly in the middle, but it should be fairly close to accurate. You should be trying to get as accurate as possible with your labelings. So if we had, if we had a bigger gap, we shouldn't just be putting 3 in between 0 and 5. Okay, it should be more than halfway between 0 and 5. We need to make sure that we're placing it in the correct spot, not just randomly in between two numbers. It should be, again, in a nice even spot. Now I'd like you to work on question 1. Okay, it's going to be placing values on a number line. Make sure you draw out your number line on a piece of paper and then place your numbers in there. Make sure it's neat, make sure it's tidy, and make sure that your numbers are as accurate as possible, your lines are as accurate as possible.